Hey everybody, my name is Ashley Rush and I'm an independent creative memories advisor located in North Carolina. Today I'm returning with another part of our series on project recipes. If you aren't familiar with project recipes, this is something that Creative Memories Home Office comes up with for each and every single one of our collections. They provide us with a cutting guide in order to make a 2-page spread. But the best thing about these project recipes is that they can be applied to future and past collections as well. So that is what I am doing. Today I will be taking the Season's Greetings project recipe. I believe this was from 2019 or maybe 2018. And I will be applying it to our current Joy to the World collection. In order to complete this project recipe, you will need 2 pieces of cardstock to serve as your base. I'm using Beige. And then you'll need 3 sheets of coordinating designer paper. This recipe is super duper simple. It's a couple of straight cuts and then you're done. I'll be jazzing it up just a little bit with some mats from our mat pack and maybe a couple stickers. I may even decide to use some of our decorative blades from our 12-inch trimmer, depending upon what stickers I have left in my sticker pack. So the first thing you're going to do is, I'm actually going to set my trimmer and my tape runner aside. I'm going to show you sort of how I proceed with project recipes. I always try and put my base papers down so that as I'm cutting, I can just add the cuts to the page where they belong. So for this recipe, your cardstock serves as your base for both the right and left page. So I've put that down, and then I'm going to pull my 3 sheets of designer paper and put them aside as well. Now I'll pull my trimmer back, and I'm just going to sort of work right on top of my recipe here. As you can see, I have put my little hack back for my trimmer. If you aren't familiar with my little measuring trick, I will link the video for you below. But this will make it so I don't have to keep pulling the arm out, putting the arm down, pulling the arm out, putting the arm down, especially since I'm working in a tight space. So the first thing you're going to do is grab one of your sheets of paper. I'm going to start with my green. It doesn't really matter. And you're going to make a simple 3-inch cut. You're actually going to do that twice. So there's one. Here's 2. Alrighty. Hold on to the sheet. We're going to come back to it. These 3x12 strips go on the outside edges of your paper, leaving, I don't know, like roughly inch and a half of visible base paper. Right, so now returning to this sheet, now you're going to make a 4-inch cut. This will leave you with roughly like a 2x12 sheet of paper. This is extra. You can set this aside and make a border, or maybe we'll come back to it and use it for decoration later. All right, with your 4x12 strip, you're going to make 1/4 turn, and you're going to make a 6-inch cut. This is where my little sticker comes into play. I don't have to open up that arm. Now you have 2 4x6 mats. These are going to go roughly here and here, but they're going to get moved as we put more paper underneath of them. All right, now you're going to grab your next sheet. This one's simple. You're just gonna make a 4-inch cut, and you're gonna do that twice as well. All right, the third strip you have is left over. You can set that aside. The original 2 strips you made, they're going to go right next to the green one. You can start moving that mat around. All right, and we have one more sheet of paper to cut. This too will be a 4-inch cut, twice. Like I said, this project recipe is so super duper simple. That third strip you have is of course extra. You can set that aside as well. We are technically done with our trimmer. These 4-inch strips are gonna go on the inside edge of your base paper. And you're just going to arrange it so that as each strip ends, the next one begins, and so forth. So you will end up with a bare strip on the outside edge. This would be a good time to sort of play around with where you want your colors to go, with the exception of that initial 3-inch piece that goes on the outside, but the 2, I guess, inside strips are convertible. So maybe you could do green, red, blue, or green, blue, red, just sort of playing around. Actually, yeah, I like that so much better. Green, blue, red it is. And then you just mirror it on the other side. Okay. Your 4x6 mats that we cut earlier are going to sort of, they're going to complement each other and go this way, diagonally. You can sort of play around with the arrangement. You can try and do this one at the bottom and this one at the top. If you're super into symmetry, which I normally am as well, you can put them both bottom or both top. So I'm just gonna go with what the recipe originally suggested. This is technically where the recipe ends. I did tell you I was going to spice it up a little bit, but I'm gonna show you where they recommended photos going. So on top of your mats, those are the perfect spots for 5 3/4 by 3 3/4 photos. And then you have spots for 6x4s or 4x6s landscape. And that was the end of the recommendations for photos. They also recommended that you maybe journal right here. That's not enough photos for me, so I went ahead and I am planning on putting another 4x6 over here. And then instead of just journaling right on the paper, I pulled out my mat pack and I was looking for all of the mats that could be cut in half like this, and picked some of my favorites and went ahead and cut them. So these, this one is a 4.5 by 6.5 mat cut in half. And I believe this was a 4x6 mat cut in half. And then I just kind of figured I would play around with the arrangements and decide what looked good. So originally I was thinking I was going to do these green trees, but the green on the green, not a good match. So I'm going to set those aside. This yellow is kind of fun. It brings in tones of that beige background, introduces a new color, so that's an option. I also really like this plaid one, sort of a multicolored buffalo plaid. Originally I thought maybe that would be my second choice, but I think I like the yellow. What do you guys think? So I'm gonna plan on the yellow being a place to journal. All right, so what do we think so far? Personally, I like it. I'm a little concerned with like this blunt end here. Normally I would take like a sticker and I would just cover up that joint on either side, but here are my border stickers that I've left. In a previous week, I used the sort of swirly wavy stickers, which would have been so perfect. And I'm not digging the Santa and the reindeers is not a full 12 inches, so that's not gonna work for me. And the music notes, I'm not feeling it, especially since to me music notes should go horizontally as opposed to ups and downs. So I think I might try and finagle a border, maybe using my trimmer. This is one of my favorite tricks for the trimmer. I'm just gonna pull that out and I'm gonna switch the blade out. My favorite decorative blade for doing these simple little borders sort of to mimic a border sticker is the wave. It's just super simple. And we're gonna cut a couple different options. Let me move the mats out of the way so it can sit flat. All right, first we will take the leftover blue sheet we have. And I'm just gonna cut, my first cut is going to be like a little past 1/8 of an inch, which if you're not familiar with your trimmer, this first line on the left is where you're cutting, and then the second dotted line is 1/8 of an inch. I'm gonna go a little bit past that, and that's just so that I can create that wavy edge because I don't want it to be flat. Righty. And then I'm going to move to the 1/4 of an inch mark, which is the end of your cutting mat. So 1/4 of an inch is usually like a pretty good border size. When you're cutting small, thin borders, it's sometimes good to give pressure in the middle of your paper so that it doesn't slide across. All right, so isn't that like a cute little border? So I'm gonna put a blue one here, and then I'm gonna repeat the same process with red so that I can sort of get an idea of which one I actually want to use. So again, just past the 1/8. Now, if you like that straight edge and then wavy edge on one, you don't have to repeat this process, but I really like having the wave on both sides, which is why I'm doing this. So there's a red option. What do you guys think? Do you like the red or do you like the blue? I think I kind of like the blue myself. It's just kind of easy. It doesn't clash so much with the gold here in my journaling box. So let's go for that. I'm gonna cut another blue one, and I can set these red pieces aside. All right, you should really be finished with your trimmer this time, so I'm just gonna set that aside. I'm gonna line this up over here. All right. Now we're technically done. When I have my pictures, I will likely put some clusters, maybe more of a title here over top of my box, which will also help balance out the height of my 4x6 this way. And then I will put, I don't know, clusters like over here, maybe down here, so that we form a nice triangle. All we have left to do today is to adhere my, my papers. So I guess we'll do that now. It's going to be best to start from the inside of your layout and work out, since these are supposed to be aligned with the edge, and then this shows whatever's extra. You'll want to use repositionable tape runner on this thin strip because it's going to make it nice and easy to put down without leaving residue. Boogers. See what I mean? We all make mistakes. But now I have to try and fold those edges over to hide the adhesive. I think I did a fairly good job, but I'm gonna make sure I switch back to my repositionable for the future. All right, we are done with our layout. I'm gonna save all of the embellishments for last, just because I'm not exactly sure if this is gonna be a Christmas Day layout or maybe the Christmas concert for my 4-year-old. Can you guys see yourself using this layout in the future? It is so stinking simple to replicate, and the papers do a lot of the work for your decorations. You don't even have to embellish too much. All right, guys, that's it for me this week. Next week, I'll be coming back with part 2 on using your scraps, so make sure you guys tune in for that. If you're brand new, make sure you give the channel a like and subscribe. By hitting that bell, you are never gonna miss one of my videos. I look forward to seeing you all next week. Bye!